Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? All righty. How many of you have been in the other workshops today? All right, almost everybody. Almost everybody. Good day, right?
Good day.
Lots of good information? Okay. So for those that don't know me, my name is Randy Penfill. I'm one of the speakers for Grow with Google. We've been doing a road tour. We're going to hit all 50 states, partnering with libraries across the country. This is our first one in 2019. We started in Philadelphia. Today we're here in New York. Tomorrow we head to Erie. It shall be a little cold. But I lived in Buffalo for 3 years, so I'm good to go, right? I live in Baltimore currently, but I'm from Philadelphia, so I'm a Philly girl. Outside the city, but I'd like to claim I'm a Philly chick. So, but I graduated Penn State. My husband, we are, right? We are. Don't get me started. And my husband went to Franklin and Marshall, so we're up in this area a lot, right down the street. He played football there. I'm here with, as I mentioned, with Grow with Google, and that's a new initiative that we've really started, and its goal is to help prepare people for work, help job seekers, people looking for jobs, on skills and ways that they can find a job, and also to help small businesses grow and teach them tools and products that are available for them to succeed online and really take ownership of their own online presence. So today, our last workshop, I'm going to go through slides, and then we're going to do some demos. We're going to kind of make it interactive. I have Pamela here in the back, my counterpart, will also help when we take a break. We're going to talk about email, spreadsheets, presentations. So how many of you have an inbox? How many of you have, keep your hands up, more than one inbox? 3 inboxes. Okay, so some of us, right? Probably 4. You seem like you probably have maybe 5, right? Okay. You guys have a lot of inboxes also, emails. So before you go to bed at night, do you check them all? Do you like, when you look at your phone and you see that little notification, does it kind of bug you if you don't clear all your emails? That might be a sign, right? You're like, whatever. Right. So, we all have multiple emails, and that is in one format, way for us to share information through email. By this year, by the end of 2019, and this is a staggering number, 246 billion emails will be sent every day. That's huge. So email is not going away. It will remain as part of a tool to share information. 31% of baby boomers and 40% of Gen Xers support using workplace social collaboration, meaning social collaboration, other forms of or ways of sharing information other than just email. So presentations, slides, being able to share that also in a real-time format. Almost 60% of us want to use those different formats, but we're overwhelmed by it. We know it's there, but we're not sure how to use it. So how many of you are currently using other products, Google products like Google Sheets or Google Presentations? Okay. So, and those of you that aren't, obviously you want to learn how to use it because it's all cloud-based. So you can log in and get to it from anywhere, and you can share it with anyone that you want. So we're going to go through, right now, email, as I mentioned. Then we're going to go over spreadsheets, and we're going to go over presentations. So in between each of those, we're going to take a little break, and you guys will be able to kind of practice what I preach for a few minutes. If you look at the booklet in front of you, you can write in the booklet. It's yours to keep. Take some notes. It is easier if you don't work along with me. You take notes, And then when I'm done and I say, hey, you got 10 minutes, practice what I just discussed, there's some practice tips in there. It's easier if you do it after I've kind of gone through it. Everybody with me? Okay. And don't be afraid to ask me questions. I'm okay with that. So first, this is what we're going to do with email. And I know it sounds kind of simple, but I'm going to show you some tricks in there. So we're going to talk about composing an email, sending an email. Anyone here use unsend, undo? My friend with the 5 email, you do? Okay, anybody else? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Okay, so my friend with the 5 emails, this is going to be a game changer. I promise. So you can send an email, and we can set a time period that you can call it back, up to 30 seconds. So anybody ever hit the send button and thought, I spelled his name wrong and I wanted that job, right? Or I didn't attach my most recent resume. Or I sent my boss my practice spreadsheet and didn't send the real one. So there's a way to call that email back up to 30 seconds. And then we're going to talk about organizing your inbox with different labels, and which we consider kind of folders with labels. And then creating an email signature. Everybody with me? Okay, so the first step, and now I'm hot. It was freezing in here, wasn't it? Okay, I'm not having a flash, right? Now it's cooled off or warmed up. So the first step is we're going to log into our email account or your Google account. Now here's the thing. We've talked, for those that have been in the workshops before, one single sign-in, one email address that gets you into all of the Google tools that you use. It really will make your life that much easier if you can access all the tools you need for if you're small business, if you're a business owner, as well as if you're using the different products with Google, so that you can log in, one login. Come on in. All good. So you would log in, and then when you're logged in, I'll come over to the left side, so I apologize. You'll notice there's a little waffle up at the top, little grid up at the top. That's where all your Google apps are stored. And if you don't have a Google account, a Gmail account, it is easy enough, and I'll go back one slide, to create an account if you don't at accounts.google.com/sign up. You can create a free Gmail account, not a problem. So then we're going to go to the app section. You'll scroll down and you'll notice mail with the M. That's how you can get to your email account, right there. Yes? Sure. It's okay.
All right. So one of my emails is at Gmail. That's my for personal. And then my company we use Google everything.
Okay.
So it's not an at Gmail, but it's still a Google.
So it's a G Suite. It's probably a professional, right? So G Suite, you can still access your tools as well, and you can still share the tools amongst the emails. So if you're using it for work, then you would sign in for through your work email, and you should be able to still get to it, because you still have that grid up at the top, and that's where all your tools are. Okay? So, and then we're now going to go into the demo portion. So I'm going to show you the demo, so if you could switch me over. Am I switched? Yeah, I am. So as you notice, I'm logged in right here. And if you look at the screen, I'm actually working on the laptop, so I'm not going to be able to kind of go from side to side, but my cursor, you can see that, the mouse. So we're going to compose an email first, which I know sounds crazy and simple, but you would click the plus, up opens a screen right here. Now, sometimes I've heard from people, it's a really small screen. Sometimes I have trouble working from that small screen. And I'm really showing you some tips and tricks here. If you come up here, right into the right-hand corner, up at the top, you can enlarge the screen to work from it. And I am keeping this pretty basic, guys, so I apologize if somebody's more advanced, but I do want to give basic tips and tricks. So you would enlarge it that way, and if you want to reduce it, you can come right back down again to reduce it. As you write your email, it does automatically save it in drafts, so you don't have to click Save button or anything like that. As you write it, and a lot of times we're starting to write an email and we get sidetracked. And then you want to come back to it, and by accident, your computer shut down because you ran out of power, and you're thinking, oh, I got to start that whole email over. It automatically saves it into the draft section. Now, one thing I always recommend is I don't put the email address that I'm sending it to until I've kind of composed it and looked at it. And I do teach my kids that. They're now in college and out of college, and they probably are tired of me saying that, but don't put the email address until you've read it, although I'm going to show you how to pull it out. So as you're writing it, and I'm going to kind of type and create as we go along with this. So I'm not a great speller. I'll know it's wrong. Just go with me, right? Don't say, you spelled that wrong. I don't always trust autocorrect either. I have a Google Home, which I now started doing my fact check, my spell check through my Google Home. I start saying, how do you spell? And Google tells me, right? So I'm going to create along with you. The other thing that I want to show you is if you have already sent an email to somebody, all you have to start doing is start typing their name, and the suggestion of who to send it to will auto-populate there, and you can pick them from that way. Now, I want to show you where you can set up to call the email back as well. So if we go into Settings, and I'm getting to Settings in the upper right-hand corner. There's a gear up there. That gear allows all the settings. So you would click there. Go to Settings. It's going to open that up. I'm going to shut this. And if you scroll down, you'll notice there's a lot of different settings in here. Come down, and it says Undo Send. Now, if you're creating a new email account, Gmail account, it does default to enabled, but it only sets it for 5 seconds, which is not a long time. So you can change it from 5 seconds up to 30 seconds. And that's going to allow you to send an email, and I'm going to show you, and then call it back. So I only had 2 people that use that, right? Anybody else use that? Is that a new feature for you guys? Okay. So that's like your one takeaway so far, right? Okay. So the other thing you want to remember is, as you do this, every time you make a change in settings, you have to hit Save. So I didn't change the time, but I'll come back up here, and I'll change it to 30 seconds. Come down, and you have to hit Save Changes. If you don't hit Save Changes, it's not going to save the change. So then I started typing an email. I'm going to go back to drafts. I'm going to type an email. Dear Pamela, thanks for email. Let me go back to it. Hang on one sec. And I could just sign it if I don't have my signature in there. Thanks, Randy. Send. And again, it appears in the lower hand corner, and you could call it back. The other thing you can also do is, how many of you have your signature set? Okay, so not everybody. So again, you would come into Settings, click. It'll take you into the settings. Come down here. Now, a couple things as we're coming down here. This right here, you'll see default text style. You can change up the style and the size if you want. So I normally go with the first selection of the font type. but you can change your font type if you want. If you want to change the size of the font, most people hit normal, but you might want to, large and huge is really big. And even though I wear progressives and can't always see my screen, I probably still wouldn't put it on the large or huge, right? You're laughing, but how many of us, we wear our glasses and we're like, hold on, I can't see. Okay, right? So I wouldn't recommend the large or huge on that. So, but normal is a good size. And again, you can change anything here with your text color, and you can also remove all formatting if you want. And that's in, again, the settings section. And then as you come down, this is how you would set up your signature. So Randy Penfill, and again, I cannot see the screen. Now, I could put my cell phone number, I could put what my title is. I can also link to, say, connect with me on LinkedIn. So I would put connect with me. And then I would open up another tab, and let's just say, I should have had this up here, but I'm not going to be able to. But say I just wanted to connect with and drive somebody to LinkedIn. I would copy that, come back, go back into the settings, click, but first I'm going to say click, or I'd say LinkedIn. And I would highlight that. Come back up to where you see that little chain, add the URL in there, click OK, and that would allow people to connect with me. So if you have a website for your business, visit our website. Click here. You could put your website link, your LinkedIn, any of your social platforms. It's a good way to still be engaged with people and drive traffic somewhere, even in your signature. Go ahead.
So that's going to have a fancy signature in there if you want?
Well, fancy, yes. You could do a script if you want, yes. You could do a signature so that every time I send that email, and I'll show it to you in a second, my signature auto-populates. So maybe I wanted my name, Randy, in a different font, like a script. I could change it in the settings, so every time I compose an email, it automatically populates my signature. Yes?
Okay, and then you might have more than one email address. So would you be able to set up, so let's say you might have two businesses. Are you able to set up two signatures there?
Well, you would have two separate signatures because you'd have two separate email addresses. So you'd be logging in and to both. So is that good? You had a question? You can add an image as well. So you would come back in and go to settings again. Let me close this. Scroll down into settings. And you can add, see right here, insert image. You can add an image right there. And it would go into the signature. And the key is don't forget to save changes. I can't tell you how many times I might set up, you spend all this time, you think it looks great, and you close it out and you hit, I need it, save changes. Yes?
You can't have more than one signature, like grandma and mom, you can't do it.
Not from the same, but now, here's the thing. You can go in, who do you send emails to more? Your kids or your kids? So you could come in and on an email that you want to send to your kids, and if this gets sent and I have grandmom on my name, I'm in a lot of trouble here, but no, I'm kidding, it's a demo account. That was a joke, guys, work with me. So grandmom, so I could just, if I'm only sending it to my grandchildren occasionally, sounds so weird for me to even say that, but yes, I would just go in and I'd, remove mom.
If I have mom, you can just
Highlight it, yep, for that email that you're sending, yep. And again, if you don't save it, you're not going to have a signature there. Yes?
I also ask this a very simple question. You know how when you were typing your message,
Okay.
and the
Yep.
Is there a way to go with it, or is it just for you to type?
No, you can. If you hit, so if Google is giving you, so the question was, sometimes Google will give you, as you're typing the email, a suggestion because it kind of knows what you're thinking on the sentence. You can actually use that. I use it all the time. So if you hit the tab button, it does that. So see how it did that? Now I've cut, so yeah, if hit the tab button, it'll take you to the end of that suggestion, and then you've got that suggestion. Yep, so I just did, so let me do it again. How, and see how it says that? I hit the tab button. It takes you to after where it's ending. Yep.
But when you were in the settings, there was something I saw in there that looked like the tab button. You could shut that off, that feature.
You can, but many people, you can in the settings. Now, going back into the settings, there are a lot of features you could do that you can remove and you can add. What I'm only going through a few. I suggest taking your time and looking at each individual setting and see what may be best for you, because my needs obviously would be different than your needs. So I like that on because it just makes my life easier. Especially I'm not a good speller, and I know they're getting the spelling right.
Can I import my contacts from another?
A mail merge?
Yes, can I do that? Like if I have Outlook and I want to?
Yes, you can bring your emails in, and when we break, we could kind of walk through that. So next, I'm going to show you how to create different labels. So labels I want you to think of as folders, like a filing cabinet. It's folders that you might use on your current email platform that you're using. And the beauty for me that I like with labels with my Gmail is I can have one email that goes to multiple labels. I don't have to just move it from the inbox to a client's name. Or if Pamela and I are sending a lot of emails, I can have it still under my Google work and then Pamela. So I can add our emails to multiple labels or under multiple labels. So again, you would come back into settings. Let me just close this real quick. Come into settings, right here. Come under labels. Now there's two places you can actually go. So under settings, labels. These are all coming down, your current labels that you might have. Here's where you can create new labels. Create new label. So if I want to create a new label for travel, so I've created a new label for travel. So I'm going to move all my travel emails, excuse me, under travel. But I want it to come under work. I've already created a work folder, a work label. I would hit nest label under, and it becomes kind of a sub-label under work. And now you can come over to the left side, and you can see I have expenses and I have travel. It all comes under work. So you can have multiple labels under one main label. You can have sub-labels. And then, coming back here, I could also create additional labels. If I click the more, scroll down, and you'll notice down at the bottom it says create new label. So I could get to labels from two different places. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. And hold on one second. So now, if I go back to my emails, and I have an email from Pamela, and I want to put it into my work label, I could come down here, put it under work. I can keep it in my inbox if I want, or I could just put it under work. And a lot of times, I will star emails. So I travel a lot, and I have a lot of emails that come over. And there's certain emails I know I need to get back to. So many times, I will quickly read the email, but know I need it to go back and really dig a little deeper into it, I hit that star right up here. And then where it goes is it comes under starred. So it creates a whole other folder, and star's already there. I move all of my emails that I know I need to go back and really read and clean up. Has anybody used that? A couple people? So are these all new features you're hearing? My job is done. Okay. All right. So let's see what else we got, and then we're going to take a few break and then let you guys kind of play around with it, and Pamela and I will walk around and be able to answer any questions as well. The other is archive. So a lot of times you'll get suggestions to archive your email, or you'll hear, oh, I should archive that. If you click here, you can actually what you want to archive, then go to the button right next to it, and archive. All it does, and I'm not going to do it right now, but it moves all of them into all mail. It doesn't delete them, but it would move all of them over into the all mail. So it allows you to clean up your inbox a bit because you're not deleting the emails. Just the other day in Philly, there was a guy who had 8,000 unread emails in his inbox. I know. I mean, maybe email might not be the platform for him, but I didn't say that. So he had 8,000, and he said, I kind of want to start from scratch and slowly go through these, but I can't, it becomes overwhelming. When I go in, I see 8,000 emails. So I said, let's move them to archive, because it moves them out of the inbox. You can go through, read them, delete them, do whatever you want with them on your own time, and then you're starting fresh. So archive just moves them over into all mail, and then you have the opportunity to go back, read them, add them back into the inbox, whatever you want to do. Has anybody used archive? No? Okay. Yes?
All the emails in all mail or just ones you archived?
In all mail, yes.
So if we never archived anything,
There shouldn't be, I believe. It shouldn't be. That's a good question, and it could be, yeah. But I don't believe within archive, it should be any email that from the inbox that you move over into the archive section of your. You do have to manually do it, yeah. Because you want to remove them from that inbox, so when you look at the inbox, like this guy with the 8,000. So, and Pamela's just Googling it and double checking it because we might not be 100. So it's not moving them all from the inbox?
they're in the all mail.
Yeah, yeah.
If they're in the inbox, they're
All mail, okay, okay. So it's still archiving them over, but not deleting them at all from there. Yes?
But what about deleting? Sometimes instead of deleting one at a time, I wish I could just delete 20 of them.
Well, you can. You can highlight if you're in the inbox, you can come over here, highlight right here. Of course, now it's not working. Hold on. I should be able to delete them all. Oh, I apologize. Right up here. Highlight at the top. And then you can come over and delete them all. So again, I was clicking, and I apologize, on the primary. So you come up at the top, the box there, highlight that, and you can delete a whole row. Okay? So yes?
So when you're on your phone, is there an easy way, like when you swipe to the left, it comes up archive. Is there a way to switch that to a delete button that you can automatically just delete things?
When we break for the demo, I'll look at the settings. That's a great question, but I'm not sure that you can. But you should be able to, because I can delete from my phone. Yeah, if you swipe all the way over, swipe the other way. You're swiping to the left. I think you have to swipe to the right to be able to delete it.
Okay, mine says flag, so
Okay, so we'll go into your settings, and we'll be able to change that. Because you can delete right from your phone. Yeah. So what I want to do is, so we went over the signature. Any questions right now before we take a quick break? Yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions. Not that I always have the answer, but they go to the label, but you then have to become, so she was saying, all her boss's emails, could they just automatically go over into one of her labels? Which you can set up filters, but the problem is then it automatically goes into a label and not in your inbox. You could miss it.
Another part to my question would be, I feel like I'm missing emails that are being responded to. Because you know how like, see marketing support, how that's dark, meaning you haven't opened it yet, right?
Okay, yes.
So it gets a lighter color when you've opened it.
Okay.
Well, so like, let's say I open marketing support and I reply to someone. When they're replying back to me, it doesn't get dark again.
So do you have so she's saying marketing support is dark. She replies to it, they reply back, and it's not dark again. Do you have conversations on? So I'm going to walk over to you when we're done. A lot of times if you, what's that? Okay, sometimes if you have conversations on, that could happen, because it kind of, so meaning if you get emails, it's one theme, one person, all of those emails are grouped together. So sometimes you don't lose them, but you don't see that reply. I personally keep conversations off for me because I felt like I couldn't see sometimes all of those emails. So for me, and it's all personal, how you like to receive your emails, right? So let's we'll take a little demo time. I think you guys are going to switch me over, right, to the email practice on the screen? No? Oh, all right, it's late, guys. So. Everybody good? Everybody set up the unsend button? Not getting any reply. Okay, just making sure. Listen. Yeah, baby. That's what I like. Okay, so we are going to talk about spreadsheets, which is email's a great way to share information. Spreadsheets is another way to share. It's that social collaboration, ways to share information, whether it's with friends or work people, where you can share the information. Any of you guys ever work on something and you know, say it's for a sporting event, you're doing a tailgate, and you've got a spreadsheet with everybody, what everybody's bringing, and you send it to your group and you say, don't make any changes, email me back and I will make the change. And this is if you're not using Google Sheets. You might send it, it's in a different format, like an Excel or something, and you send it over and you send it to 6 people, and lo and behold, 3 people make a change and send it back, and now you can't figure out where the changes are, what the change was. You've got to redo the sheet. Anybody, I mean, it's time consuming. So with shared documents like this, it's done in real time. You can share it with, whether it's friends or people you're working with, they can make a change to it and it automatically saves. It's all cloud-based. So you don't have to go back to the original, make an update, send it over, and then they send it and it becomes a whole process. They can log in and see it. Everybody good with that? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about creating a spreadsheet, entering data and formulas, edit rows, columns, and cells, and then I'll show you how to create a chart within a spreadsheet. How many of you are using spreadsheets currently? Okay, and do you use them through Google Slides, Google Sheets? Yeah, okay. So you guys are pretty good on it? No, okay. Okay, all right, well, I want you not to be great, so when you walk out of here, you say, wow, I can do so much. All right, this is really a quiet crowd. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to create a spreadsheet, and then I'm going to show you on my computer, and which I am now, and don't work along with me. All the information's in your booklet. Make notes, and then we'll take a 5-minute break and kind of play around with it, and you can ask any questions. So again, we're logged in to our account. You could come over here and, hold on, let me just go to your Google Drive. So if you come over to the waffle, to the grid up there, scroll down, you see email right there, click Drive, see that? That's the drive. It's going to open up another tab. You open up another tab, and over here on the left side is New. You would click that, come down, and you would hit Google Sheets. That would open up a new spreadsheet. And again, as you work on it, just like if you're creating an email and you're typing and your computer goes down or you get sidetracked and you close out your email, it auto-saves. So you're not losing what you do, which is huge. The first thing I always recommend is title your spreadsheet, because you don't want to have half a dozen spreadsheets that are all called untitled spreadsheet. Laugh as you may, it happens to the best of us. Just saying, Pamela does it all the time. No. So I'm going to say tent sale. We're having a tent sale. So I've titled my spreadsheet, and now I'm going to create a header. And I'm going to say items and cost. I'm going to come down, I'm going to add some items. So at a tent sale party, and this will be a tent sale party, because we're going to do an outdoor party. So I'll come down, we'll have balloons. Balloons are good, right, at a party? Balloons, roughly, what do they cost? $100? That's a lot of balloons, but you never know. And then what's a party without some beer, right? I'm willing to spend $2.50 on my booze, some beer. How about tables and chairs, because we're having an outdoor tent sale. And this I'm creating for a business, for a fireplace business. They're actually going to have some fireplaces outside. They're going to be selling them. We're going to do an outside tent sale. So we have tables. Will be at 150. Chairs. What do you think, 75? 80, okay. There's my friend. You're the life of the party, aren't you? Okay, so here we've got, now let's just pretend with this we have a whole bunch of information coming down, and it's becoming a really long spreadsheet. And I want to freeze this top line. So as I scroll down, I can see the columns, the correct columns. And the columns are up and down, rows come across. Cells are the individual fields there. The little, these are considered cells. These little squares are cells. So now I want that top column to come down as I'm creating my spreadsheet. So I would highlight it, and I would come over to Format, and then I'd slide it over to, all of a sudden now I can't find it, hold on, to View, and I see Freeze right here. So the line that I want to, the row that I want to freeze would be row 1. So I'd come over to row 1. Everybody following me on this? Click row 1. Now, as I scroll down, you see that top line, the title, the headline, items, costs, as I scroll, doesn't move. So I could have 30 items in here, and I can still see that items and costs on those rows. Everybody with me? Is anybody using that currently? Okay, so I'm going to come back up under View. So I would highlight the line, the column that I want to, or the row, I apologize, that I want to freeze. View, right under View is Freeze. Everybody with me? Okay. Then, if I want to add another row, I can come over here and highlight that. Whoop, I'm using a shortcut. Highlight that, hit Insert, because I want to add something above tables. So I can insert a row above. So I would highlight it, hit Insert. Say I realize I don't want that row in there. I would highlight it again, Insert, come over at Edit, and I would delete row 4. So you can add rows, you can remove rows. Cut would remove it, but then you could paste it somewhere else. So you're better off to delete it and remove it completely. Everybody with me on that? Okay, so we're going to add rows. You can also add more columns if you want, where you would highlight, insert, and you could add a column left or right, additional columns. Now, say you would like to create a chart, whether it's a pie chart, a bar chart. Anybody use charts in their business? Okay. So here you would, and first let me do this. I'm going to add a sum. So a lot of times we want to get the full amount that we're spending. So I've got row 2 through row 5. I would come over to function over here. I hit sum. Actually, I'm going to come down here. I apologize. Sum. And it's going to add. Now it's not working. Hold on. Let me delete it. So we're going to edit. We're going to undo that. Okay, I'm going to highlight those rows. I want the sum of that. And it would add them up. So you want to highlight the rows that you want to add. Go to function over here. I click sum. It adds up all those rows. So now I want to create a chart with all of this information. So I could come under Explore, but actually I'm going to, let me just say something real quick. Format, insert, all of a sudden now, hang on, view. Hang on one second. All of a sudden, I'm not finding chart. Pamela? Yeah, under charts. My bad. And I would hit chart. Let me see. It's not adding it. Insert chart. Right here. So I apologize. So here's where I would add a chart based on all the information that I just had put into the spreadsheet. So you can change this up from, if you don't want a bar chart, you want to have pie. So if you're using this for business, again, you're creating with all the costs, each item. You can add a chart so that you have the ability to be able to share it with, say, your boss. And say your boss says, well, I like a pie chart. You can actually switch it to a pie chart, and it's not working. Sorry. And delete the other. And switch it. Well, so that's a great point. So now my boss says too much money on beer. So I could change it right here, and it automatically will change on the chart. It's not a party anymore, is it? Right? Okay. So if I want to share this, I can come up here, share, right here in the right-hand side, and I can add in email addresses of anybody that I want to share this spreadsheet with. I can give them different access, edit, comment, view. So if I'm sharing it with somebody I work with or my boss, I can have them have full access to it, and I can start typing their name. So Pamela, I'm going to send it to, and I could give Pamela a little note, and I can send it to her. She's going to have now, she'll get an email that she has full access to my spreadsheet. So we're going to take really a 2-minute quick break if you want to play with that, and then I'm going to come back because we'll run out of time and do presentations. So if anybody has any questions on that with creating a spreadsheet? Nobody? Oh.
How do you take an Excel?
So you can upload an Excel into this, and when you upload it, just because we only have a few minutes left. So, and then when we're finished, we can still stay and answer any questions that people need. How many of you create presentations? Okay, so a couple of you. Okay, so if we could go back to the slides. So we'll come back to that. So let's go to presentations. So we'll go through presentations, create a presentation. I'll show you how to choose a theme, add and edit comments, add, maybe an image to it, and also adding speaker notes, and then again, sharing your presentations. So when you're logged in, again, you would go back to your Google Drive. That's where, and ma'am, I didn't get your name. What was your, Kathy? So Kathy, this is where you would then also upload any of the files that you want. There we go, Kathy. So go to your Google Drive, go over to New, and here's one trick I like to show people. Once you've created a few different presentations, slides, spreadsheets, whatever it may be, you can click in the search and see a drop down. Oh, you can't see it, I'll show you. But you'll see a drop down, and you'll be able to pick whether you want to go to your Google Sheets or your slides and be able to see it. So we're going to go through these few items, and then let me see if my clicker's not working, guys. There we go. So we're going to start with, and I think I'm going to go live just because we're running out of time. So we'll switch over to a demo. Okay, so I'm up here. So again, I mentioned you can come into your Google Drive, click where it says Search Drive, and you're going to be able to get access to any Google Sheets you've already created, presentations you've worked on, photos directly from the search. But if you're creating it new, you'd be in Google Drive, come over to New, click, come down, Google Slides. This is where you would create a presentation. You have the option to choose different themes right here. If you want a different theme, you could click. You want to change a background, you could click right here, change the color of a background. If you want to add additional slides, you would click here on the slide, come down under, plus, I apologize, add another slide. Right by the plus sign to add a slide. You can add multiple slides. So if I'm doing tent sale, and again, always title your presentation. So tent sale, because I'm going to have to present this to my boss. Presentation. So if I have 3 different slides here, and I want to now move my first slide that I'm saying tent sale February 1st. Now I want to move a slide. I would highlight that slide and drag it down in between or anywhere that I want to move that slide to in the presentation. So say I've created a presentation and I want the second slide to now become the 4th slide. I would highlight it, click on it, drag it, put it to the 4th slide. Yes?
Would you, if that's under 30 seconds long, would you be able to put that on your website?
A slide, you could save it and then embed it in. Yeah, you should be able to. So with slides, and I'm going to show you a couple quick things because I don't want to go over too far, but we've titled it. Now I wanted to add an image and say, so I've put some text in here and I want to move the text. I would highlight it and just drag it to where I want to move it. And now I want to add an image here. So I would click on the slide. I can't see that. hit Insert and Image. So I want to add an image. Insert, Image. And say I want to find something on the web about a fireplace. I could click Search, type in fireplace, fireplaces, find an image. Now, again, you always want to think about copyright, and you have to do what is right for you. I would not put something on your website that you don't have approval to, approval to use that image. So you want to be careful. It's best to always use images that you have approval to use. You can go into your photos, yep. So I would drag it over. Okay. And that image would automatically appear right within my presentation. So that's, and I'm showing you just some tips on ways you can find different images, ways you can add, whether I'll show you a video to your image as well, or to your slide. But this just allows you to search the web. And again, maybe if it's an internal presentation and you have copyright access, copyright approval to use that image, you can search the web, find an image, and use that as well. Say you want to add and insert a video. Come over to here, Insert, click Video. If it's a YouTube video, you could go over to YouTube, and let me see if I have a YouTube open. I have a library, but we'll go to YouTube. So YouTube, and I'm going to look for Regency fireplace. Yep, I apologize. Let's go to YouTube again. And search YouTube and find any video you really want to use that has the share on it. And grab the link. Let me just see if I can search here. Fire Regency. Anybody do this before? So you can come over here, see where the share URL is. Copy it, bring it back over to your presentation, take that link, paste it, choose it, hit select, and the video will come into your presentation as well. So there's different ways. So again, adding, anybody ever do that? No? On a what? Smartboards, right. So this is a way to add images, video, whether it's from the web or from your Google Drive. Somebody had asked Google Drive. Well, hold on one sec, yes.
Is there a way with the YouTube content to limit it to that particular clip? I've had experiences where
It goes into the next ad. So it should only play what you've just brought over. Have you brought it into your presentation? If we could look at it and just double check, but it should really not go into, you're not linking to YouTube because you're going to save it. So, yeah. And again, if you want to delete a slide, you can actually hit Edit, delete a slide if you have too many and you just want to have 2 slides in your presentation. If you want to share, just like if you share your documents, hit Share, type a name in. So Pamela's already, I've got her email already in here. I can give her different access level, and I can share this with her. I can add notes to it, and she would get that email. Hey, Pamela, take a look at this, add some more information to it. Any questions right now while we're going through this? No? Everybody's good? So the other is adding speaker notes. We all use notes if you're doing a large presentation. You have the ability to type in you know, fireplaces. If you can type fireplaces on sale, extra savings, because I'm going to be presenting this. So I would type in all my speaker notes, and then I could come up here to present, right up at the top. Click present, so I can present it with speaker notes, without speaker notes as well. So if I'm doing it with speaker notes, you could see the speaker notes come over to the side, and then you have the slides right in the middle. And it tells you the slides coming up. Any questions on that? No? Do a lot of you do presentations? I know I asked. No? No? Okay. Not anymore. So why don't we take a little time and then ask us any questions. We'll come around. We could do the spreadsheets or anything with the presentation. Okay? Everybody's quiet. Yes, you have a quick question? Or you just...
There were some questions that I wanted to ask.
So let's go, and if we could switch back to the last slide. So this is a great resource with google.com/grow. Lots of different learning resources as well. Lots of information, local events that might be happening, that you can go and gather information from. There are resources on there. And we're also here, still remaining. Pamela and I can help you with any other additional things. And grow, again, our goal is to help people with job searches and the tools to use, small businesses growing, and help people, you know, using any of our products and services. So any other questions before we end it up? And we can ask them, walk around? Yeah. Well, it depends on, so are you talking like for small business education? So again, you know, Grow with Google is doing this initiative throughout the US. We do offer, with some of our local partners, trainers coming back and helping small businesses, doing classes in the area. There's a lot of online resources. And I would keep checking, you know, your local market. There might be people that are doing some local classes for local education. So I'm going to have you cut the mic, and then we can answer. I know you two had a question with your email.